Welcome to the WordPress Photography Podcast, the podcast for photographers who want to learn how to get the most out of WordPress to grow their photography business. You don't need to be a geek to understand WordPress. Settle back and listen as we show you how. Now, here's your host, Scott Wyden-Kivowitz.
Welcome to episode 133. This is going to be a very emotional one for me. So I apologize if I take things slow or if I stumble. I'm sort of winging this. I'm only doing this in audio because I can't do this one on video. So this is episode 133. This is my last episode of the WordPress Photography Podcast. This is my last episode for Imagely because I am officially leaving Imagely. I was presented an opportunity with another company that happens to also be in the photography space, but it was an opportunity that I really couldn't pass up. It didn't make sense for me, for my family, to pass up this opportunity. So I thought I'd take a moment to reflect on the past 10 years, just shy of 10 years, that I've been with Imagely. 10 years. I was sought after, I was recruited by the original founder of Imagely. At the time, Imagely was called Photocrati. That's Photocrati. And Photocrati was doing amazing things. Amazing things. We had a full community teaching people about SEO, search engine optimization. We had a bunch of other sites that we were teaching photographers about different things. And I was brought on to basically be the public face of the company and create content of text nature. I eventually shifted into doing some more audio and video content, which I brought it upon myself. I chose to do it. I mean, I'm a photographer. I mean, that's visual, right? That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to do some more audio and video. I started doing it, created this podcast, created the YouTube channel, started doing more and more and more. Over the years, we realized that Photocrati became hard for people to say. They thought it was Photokarate. So we eventually rebranded as Imagely. I remember that I was going back and forth with the original founder, Eric, and we were going back and forth about what should we call ourselves. We couldn't come up with a name. We couldn't decide on a name. And every time we did, a domain was taken. And then we said, well, what about those domains, those names that have Lee or missing a vowel or something like that? And we didn't want something too outrageous. We wanted to be clever, fun, still say the photography space. Eventually, I said to Eric and to the team, what do you think of the name Imagely? Just thought of it out of the blue. And the entire team loved it. Now, the domain was not available, so we had to buy the domain from somebody else. And all the social media handles were not available, so we had to buy those from some other person. So that was interesting, but we all loved the name so much that it was worth the financial investment in the name. And of course, it's paid off over the years because Imagely is more fun to say than Photocrati. It's easier to say as well. But we relaunched as Imagely. We rebranded as Imagely. We had a new logo made. We went to WPPI. We launched e-commerce, the first true photography e-commerce in the WordPress space. And we did our own events. I mean, Eric and I hosted a workshop at Red Rocks in Colorado. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing to not only run our own workshop, which was an all-day thing, and which was also catered by Red Rocks. It was amazing. It was so cool. But we were actually at Red Rocks in Colorado in one of their buildings. You know, you probably heard of Red Rocks. Red Rocks is where the bands perform. It's all made, like the whole arena, this whole property is made out of, it's made in the rocks, right? So like we were in this room teaching and there were actual rocks in the room. They had if you have a window put in your house or whatever, you've got sealant around the window to keep the air in or out and to keep the window in place. They did the same thing, but walls against rock. That's how cool this property was. Anyway, so we did a lot of great things over the years, and Imagely has grown and grown and grown. We eventually launched the first ever Print Lab integration, true professional Print Lab integration in the WordPress space in a gallery plugin inside of NextGen Pro, our premium gallery plugin. And that was also a ton of work. It was amazing. We grew the company to the point between Eric's leadership and between my marketing efforts, all the content I'm putting out, all the interaction with the community and so on. We grew the company to the point where it caught the attention of the current CEO of Imagely, Nathan. Now, Nathan acquired Imagely when the pandemic started. So when all the world is falling apart and everything's shutting down, Nathan actually acquired Imagely. Nathan also acquired, I think 2 or 3 years prior, he acquired EnviroGallery. Now, EnviroGallery was actually, at the time, one of NextGen Gallery's, and I guess technically it still is, one of NextGen Gallery's biggest competitors in the WordPress space. And so Nathan now owns 2 brands that are competitors to each other, but also not complementary, but they're meant for a different audience. NextGen Gallery is one plugin with you would install then one add-on for that plugin. So you got NextGen Gallery, and then you either buy NextGen Plus or NextGen Pro, depending on what you need, and you get all those extra features you want. Whereas EnviroGallery uses the add-on model. You buy EnviroGallery, and then you choose what add-ons you want to use for whatever features. So if you want watermarking, you use an EnviroGallery Pro and the watermarking add-on. Whereas in NextGen Gallery, you just have the watermark feature, right? So it's a different model. So in some ways, it could be different customers using it. Either way, both are fantastic gallery plugins. They've proven themselves over the years, and now they're both under one roof. And the teams have worked together, and so developers are working together, the marketing team is working together, the customer service is working together. It's been great to see the company grow. But I was approached by this other company, and they offered me a great opportunity. And I feel like it's the next chapter of my life. It's the next chapter of my career, and it's great for my family, for me, and it's a really interesting space of where I'm going to be. So I'm very excited about it. So I just wanted to take an opportunity to reflect on just what you just heard, the past 10 years. It's been an amazing, amazing ride. It'll be weird not talking about Imagely on a daily basis. I'll tell you that, it will be very weird. It'll be weird not talking about websites and online marketing with photographers and WordPress in general on a daily basis. Of course, I'll still, my website's still going to be WordPress based. I'm still going to be in it because I still love using WordPress, but I'm not going to be thinking about it and talking about it on a daily basis anymore like I have for 10 years, just shy of 10 years, really. May would be 10 years at Imagely. Things are changing. I don't know what's going to happen with the podcast. Hopefully they keep it going. Hopefully they either, somebody in the company takes up the host seat for the WordPress Photography Podcast, or maybe they hire somebody else somebody new to take it on. I'm not exactly sure what's going to happen, but know that I'm still around. If you want to follow me, see what I'm up to, I have my personal website, scottwyden.com. You can also find me everywhere on social media at Scott Wyden. I've said this to my coworkers. I've said this to Nathan. I want to thank the entire Imagely team. I want to thank Nathan for continually making Imagely a fantastic brand that really does help not only the WordPress space, but also the photography space. It's very hard to sort of saddle, what's the word? Not saddle. Cradle? I don't know. It's very hard to sort of sit in 2 industries at the same exact time. It's very hard. And to market to 2 industries when you have one product, right? So Imagely was one product, NextGen Gallery, and which was free, and the paid upgrades. But it's basically one product. It is very hard, very, very hard to market to 2 industries at once, 2 very different industries at once with that slight overlap. But we've been doing it, and they're going to continue to do it. There's a lot of really cool things to come from Imagely in the future, and I am, without a doubt, excited to see it all happen from the outside. Of course, I'll be paying attention. Like I said, although I didn't own the company, I was not the CEO at all. The original founder, Eric, brought me on. And when he brought me on just shy of 10 years ago, I immediately started treating it like my baby. And so it's very hard and emotional for me to leave my baby. I mean, it's very hard and emotional for me to leave Imagely, but I know it's the right thing to do at this point in my life. And I look forward to the future. Thank you to everybody who's been watching and listening over the years. I can't believe how long we've been doing this podcast. We started doing it every other Thursday, and we really never missed a beat, except for August when we took a break in August. And then, I guess, for the past few months, 6 months maybe, we've been doing once a month. So thank you for everybody who's been listening, subscribing, watching the videos. I greatly appreciate your time paying attention and engaging with us when we ask you questions. And it's amazing. It really is amazing. I appreciate every single one of you. And yeah, I can't wait to see what Imagely keeps doing in the future. So stay tuned. Hopefully you'll see episode 134 coming in the near future, but I look forward to listening or watching it as an outsider, as an audience member, as a listener, not as the host. So thank you again, and thanks for listening to my very emotional, sort of all over the place, but reflection episode 133.
You've been listening to the WordPress Photography Podcast. To listen to other episodes and to subscribe to the podcast via iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and more, please visit imagely.com/podcast.